at creating this part. So what you can see here is we have got a first angle projection, and we're looking at the front view here. This is our top view. So you can see the top over here, front looking straight on, and then we have got some cross sections. So this is AA here, so we're looking across, so we're cutting it in half, and that is what we can see. BB, we've got this angle through this center point of this circle, so we can see how that is cut with the sizes, and then we have got C, which is showing us a cross section of just this point that sticks out. So there's loads of ways we can do this. We're just going to go with our best option, or what we think is going to be the best option. So we're going to start on the front plane, and we're going to basically make this main cross section without the bit sticking out. So we have got what have we got? 68, 94, and a height of 85 over here. Okay, so that is what we are going to start with. So we're going to go on the front plane, S to sketch, and then we're going to go N to go normal 2. We're going to get our line tool, and we're just going to start from partly this origin here back to this section, something like so. Sketch down and across, and we want to click on here and make this and this point coincident, and we then want to make this, I think we said 85 was our dimension. Let's just double check that. 85 up there. In terms of its width, so it's going to be 68, sorry, in terms of its diameter, and then we can do these other bits in a second. So 68 diameter, so click on D for a dimension tool from here to here. That has got an angle which is not good. It suggests that and that are not parallel, though they should be, so we make those two parallel. And if we go back into our dimension tool with D, and we click on, we can just go on from here, that's fine. And we can make that, what did we say it's going to be? It's going to be 68. So if we go 68 divided by 2, that's going to give us that point there nice and easily. Now this is still blue, so we click on this dot here, we can drag that around. We want that to be attached to here, so it is tangent to this section, and that is going to be perpendicular up there. Okay, we've then got this rectangular bit that sticks out, so we can add this on. I think if we go back to our dimensions, we've got this as 6.35, 6.35, and it's 13 out. So we can go and make this 13. We can make this part, nope, D for dimension. What's that? Ooh, not bad, 6.35, press enter, and we want this from here to also be 6.35. That looks good. We have also recognized that this is hollow, so we're going to just offset this. So I can click O on my keyboard to get my offset function. It's giving us 5 millimeters there. Let's see what the difference is. So that is a 6.35 millimeter offset. So 6.35, press enter, left click it. We're all good apart from that looks blue, which it is. Drag it and it will automatically coincident there. And that's also the same, drag it, and that will again automatically coincident, and we are now fully defined. So what we're going to do from here is we are going to revolve this to give our cylindrical main section, this part here. So I can go up and then click on revolve, and it's going to ask me for the faces. I do want to do everything, which is fine. My revolve axis is this middle point, and there we have the main first section. That's looking pretty good. So back to our drawing. The next bit we want to do is we want to attach this part onto our main sketch. So that is going to be, if we look at it, we have got the circular parts. We're going to do those in a second. We're going to be doing this main bit, which goes up to the top, and we know that we've got a radius on the outside, this arrow here of 15, a radius of 10 on the outside, and in terms of height, what are we looking at? We're going to want it to be 56 up there to the center part, so we can have a little look at that in a second. So on our front plane, go sketch again, click on sketch, go normal 2, and we're going to start with, let's go for a center line, L and then Q for construction. Just get this here like so, How long do we want it to be? We want it to be 38 between those two circles, so I can make that 38 like so. Doesn't need to be constrained yet. Top circle, if we go back and have a little look, is going to be this main section here. It has a radius of 10, this bottom has 10, and this one is 15. So the circle tool, that needs to be a radius of 10, so diameter of 20. This can be anywhere, and then this is going to be centrally along this line. That's going to be a radius of 30. Now I can click on this one, and I can click on this one, and I can make them equal up here, which is just there. So they're the same size. And then this top part, we're going to want that to be tangent. So what we can do is we can click on this original sketch here to show it with the eyeball, and we can click on this part and that little dot there, and we can make them actually coincident is going to be better, and that constrains all of it. Click our L for line tool, and we want this to be, is it going to give us a tangent constraint? No, that one gives a tangent constraint there, and then we can click L here, should give us a tangent constraint there. This one needs to also be tangent to here, so click on T, and this also needs to be tangent to there, so click on T, and that's all black. Now to save us drawing it again, we can click, and we can click on our middle line, and we can just mirror those, and that gives us our fully constrained entity like so. We're now going to extrude this out, so click on extrude at the top, or Shift E, move it around. We want all of it selected. It's not selected everything, so just drag it over, and it will select it all. And in terms of how far out it's going, we are seeing that it goes 70 millimeters just here out from that center line. So we can go over, type in 70, press enter, green tick that, that looks pretty good. Okay, now we want to cut away our circles. So this time we've got this, or the holes, this is going to be a 19 millimeter diameter, and that is a 9.5 millimeter diameter. So on here, S for sketch, go N for normal 2, C for the circle tool, hover over it, and it'll give us our center point. What did I say? That was going to be 9.5 diameter, and then this center one was going to be, did I say 19? I did, and then again we want another 9.5 down here. So again, I can just click on here, go E for equal. That is fully constrained. I can now click on my extrude, and I want to cut these away, but I don't want to cut them all away. Okay, we want to only cut one of them away. So this one is going to be going up to the next middle plane. So if I go up to face, I can then click on this plane here, and it will go up to that face, or it should go up to that face. It's not liking that. Add, we need to remove it. Green tick that, that's fine. And then I also want to use this sketch here, so I can have a look at that sketch, and I can click on this one and this one, and I need to also extrude cut that away. Solid, remove, always double check you've got that correct. This part and this part, and I think it needs to be going back by 25 millimeters, which is already selected, and we can green tick that. So that's looking pretty good from what we can see. Happy with that, all those dimensions. Now we can pattern that part. So up here we have got our circular pattern tool. It's under linear pattern, it might be hidden. We want a feature pattern. Tick on that. Feature to pattern, we're going to be selecting everything from there to here. So all of those in between. Axis of pattern, we've already got this axis in the middle, which is perfect. Now it's giving us 4, we only want 2, and we want it to be about 45 degrees and the opposite direction, and then we just need to reapply these features, and it should give us a green tick. Perfect, that's looking nice. Okay, the next bit is going to be this circular bit that sticks out. So this one over here, a little bit complicated. We can use this view to have a look at. The first thing we want to do is get a center line at 6 degrees off from our plane. So we're going to want to draw a mid plane here. So we can select 2 planes, go up to plane, and that should give us a mid plane. If it's the wrong direction, which it is, you can go flip alignment, and that will give us it there. I can then sketch on this mid plane by going S, sketch. We're going to want to look at it from the back, so it's a bit cleaner. Click on normal 2, and we can hide some of these other sketches because they're a little bit messy for us. It's a bit confusing. Which sketch is that? Okay, that'll be fine. And now we want to get our line. So our center line from here, constrain it, take it out. Q for construction is what I should have done. So you can click on it, press Q, and that is now a construction line. That needs to be 6 degrees, like so. Okay, and in terms of height, we can have a look at that in a second, but we know we're going to be drawing a rectangle. So I go R. I actually want an aligned rectangle off that point. So aligned rectangle from here, draw it out. Oops, we don't want to be on the midplane. That's not going to work. Over to there, drag it up. Okay, that can be a random height for now. So let's go look at our dimensions. We know that we need this to be 60 millimeters from the center and 60 millimeters up. So this point from here to here is going to be 60 millimeters up. And we know that this point, let's just double check that, is going to be 60 millimeters going out. So that point, not that line, that point from there to there is also going to be 60 millimeters. That looks a little bit better. Just this moving up and down for our height, we can constrain that to that point because it doesn't have to be anything. If we go over to here, what is it? It is 30 millimeters in diameter. So we can take this and we can make that 50 millimeter radius. And now we just need to revolve this. So we go up to revolve. We know our face is there. The pattern revolve is going to be around that axis. We can green tick that. And now we have our part. We just need to add a circular cutout on here. So I can click S, sketch, and then C for my circle tool. It's going to give me that middle point automatically. What is the dimension for that? It's going to be a 21 millimeter diameter. So I can type in 21, gives us that, and then I can press Shift E, and we can cut that material away. It's just got to go into the middle. So let's say if we go 40, that looks enough. Let's go 50 to be safe, because we're going to be cutting it through. Right, at the moment, that is all looking pretty good, but we need to now revolve cut the inside part to get rid of all of this internal material. So what we can do is we can go back and use our original sketch, this one like so. I can click on here to be able to see it a little bit easier. But first, if I click on revolve, it's going to ask me for the faces to sketch. So I can drag across. I don't want to do that. That's going to do far too many. Click on here and then click revolve. Revolve axis is going to be that axis there, but that's going to cut everything away, okay, which is not what we want. So what we want to do is we want to click on here and we basically want to, this is, hang on a sec. So if I go over and I click on edit, that allows me to come into here. I can then click on my revolve and I can remove, I'll basically select these faces. Sorry, edit, there we go. Revolve, that's the part I want. Revolve axis is going to be our central axis and we want to remove it. And that's going to take everything out from the inside. Okay, that's looking pretty good, although we have got these faces on the inside, which we don't like the look of. Really useful on Onshape, we can go up and we can remove the face. So delete face, click on here, here, and here, and then click on here, and it's going to get rid of those bits. So when we look on the inside, that is perfectly cut out. So that is pretty much everything. The last bit to do is just add a fillet. So Shift F for fillet. I can click on this whole face and it will give me a fillet there. What size is it supposed to be? All fillets, all rounds are 4 millimeters, and it's already 4 millimeters, which is very useful. I can click on this part here to tidy that up. We've got a fillet around there, a fillet down the middle here, and we also want a fillet down the middle here. They're going to do all that. It automatically does it. Green tick, and there is our first model. We can tidy it up by just hiding some of those sketches. Get rid of our planes by pressing P, and that looks nice. The last thing is there a material steel 110 and 1.6 kilograms is the weight. Let's check it. At the moment, that part has no mass or weight, so we want to go back into here and we want to assign a material. Onshape library. Steel, what have we got? Steel 110, green tick that. Is it going to be the same? this could be embarrassing. 1.6 kilograms, that's all good.